You know, sometimes it's hard to believe that everybody is so incredibly enthusiastic about the digital revolution. I mean, I have to say that I'm getting a little burned out on all this stuff. I now have 11 computers, and it's really a big job keeping up with the updates. And things keep crashing, and I've gotten to the point where half the time, all I want to do is throw all this stuff out the window. Floppies, zip drives, monitors, mice, everything. Just get rid of it. I mean, I'm spending so much time now fixing things and learning new systems, and I'm thinking, wait a second. Is this how technology is improving my life? And I find myself rereading the Unabomber's message to the world. I'm thinking, he's right. It's true. Technology is taking the human race on a reckless ride to nowhere. And speaking of rides, who thought of this phrase, the data highway, anyway? I think it was Dick Cavett who said, highway. That's something long and gray and boring that kills 40 to 50,000 people a year. But to sum it up, I'm ready to join the Lead Pencil Club, which is a sort of loose organization I just found out about. And it's based on Long Island. And this club advocates abolishing all electronics and going back to lead pencils and magic markers. But the thing is, it's a little hard to get in touch with any of the club members, actually. So if you want to join, it's pretty difficult. Of course, the main thing about technology is that it's really big and really powerful, and not very many people really understand it. So what do you do with something really big and powerful that you don't understand? You worship it. So there's a lot of voodoo and a lot of morality that gets attached to it. Like, the technology's really great and will make our lives so much better and easier. Or, on the other hand, the technology isolates people, turns them into weird, antisocial loners, typing away alone in their rooms. As if reading a book isn't also a deeply antisocial thing to do. But the thing that scares me most is that every day, technology is getting more and more global and corporate and monolithic and impossible to escape. Recently, someone said the saddest thing about the fall of the Berlin Wall is that you can no longer defect. There's nowhere left to go. And now that technology is everywhere in the world, most artists, like everyone else, are having to figure it out. Now, one of the main things I learned from going to all these futuristic tech conferences is that there is no such thing as an artist anymore. We are now officially known as content providers. Now, why does this sound like something from the Chinese Cultural Revolution? Content providers? We'll house them over there. At first I thought this was one of the most chilling things I'd ever heard. And then I thought about it for a while, and I sort of got used to it. And after about a year of hearing it, I'm completely adjusted. Now, I actually like it. It sounds kind of practical and positive and inevitable. But as I see it, part of being a good content provider is providing good information. Now, last year I was on a tour for several months, and we had a website called The Green Room, which is an electronic information room. And we put a lot of technical stuff about the tour on the site and lots of related topics. And one of the biggest topics in the Green Room was food. Maybe because getting food on tour becomes a kind of obsession. And it started with a recipe I posted. And the recipe was for something called hotel hot dogs. And I invented this recipe when I was on a press tour in Germany. And usually, the interviews went on all day and well into the night, and by the time they were over, all the restaurants in town would be closed. So here's how to cook a fairly good dinner right in your hotel room. Now the ingredients include 2 bratwurst, or Oscar Mayer's will also do, and the utensils include 1 lamp, a pocket knife, and wire strippers. And here's how to make it. First, unwrap the bratwurst and place it on the bedside table. Then unplug the floor lamp. Then, using the pocket knife, cut the lamp cord approximately 3 feet from the plug. Then, with the wire strippers, peel the insulation from the cord, leaving about 10 inches of exposed wire. Then thread the wire through the bratwurst and tie off the wire at the end. Then just plug it in. Now cook until the bratwurst is crispy on the outside, approximately 2 seconds. And make sure the cooking time doesn't exceed 3 seconds, since the meat will explode at very high temperatures. Then just relax and enjoy. Now this dish is excellent, accompanied by a glass of cool hotel tap water. Now in the US or other territories where 110 is used, add 2 additional seconds to the cooking time. Anyway, after I posted this recipe, a lot of people began to write in about other kinds of food. And there were several postings about the high-speed cookbook written by that cross-country race car team. And the team did a coast-to-coast race. And they couldn't stop to eat during the race, but they got so tired of sandwiches that they adapted some recipes that could be done quickly during pit stops using combustible engines. Things like pork roast, which goes: wrap your pork roast tightly in 30-gauge aluminum, tie next to the engine, and roast at 70 miles per hour for 6 hours. And then there's the roadkill cookbook that comes from Vermont. And this one tells you how to prepare the dead deer and possum that you find lying on the highway, and how to test the tar content of the tread marks on the animal's skins, things like that. Now the cooking section in the green room sort of got out of hand, because after a while, people on the net started to send real food to us. Now in Montreal, we got a shipment of beaver tail from someone in Canada. Now these tails came in a big bloody plastic bag with color photographs explaining how Eskimos trap beaver. Now here's how to do it, in case you find yourself needing to trap some. First, it has to be winter. So if it is, find a frozen lake and sharpen the ends of 2 large twisty branches. Then cut 2 holes in the ice near the beaver dam and insert the 2 branches down through the ice and into the water. Next, cut a piece of poplar, this is the bait, and insert that between the 2 branches. Then, sit around and wait. Now the idea is that the beaver will swim up to the poplar bait, but get caught in the twisty branches and drown. And when you think this might have happened, cut a big hole in the ice around the branches and pull the chunk of ice up. And if it worked, there'll be a drowned beaver frozen stiff on the bottom of the chunk of ice. Now I don't know how useful this is to you, but it reminded me that there are plenty of things that you don't really need to know. And that a lot of information isn't always better than no information at all.